Happy Devil's Wednesday! This is the Woo Report! The Woo Report! The Morning Woo Edition. Coming to you live from the Primetime Radio Studios in an undisclosed location in beautiful New Jersey. In the bunker. Streaming live on Facebook Live, YouTube Live, Twitter Live, and Twitch on the Let's Go Devils Network. Hello, Mike Rossi in the Facebook Live. What a day it was yesterday. What a day is today. Tom Fleece-Gerald is fleecing the NHL. The other NHL teams right now, as we speak. He's not done yet. After what happened yesterday, getting Tyler Toffoli, the Devils' power play, no one's really talked about this, but the Devils' power play will have lethal depth. And we'll talk about that just in a sec. But Toffoli coming to the New Jersey Devils essentially adds another number-wise, another Jesper Bratt from a number standpoint. 30 goals, 30 assists, 40 assists kind of guy. And he had a career year last season, leading the Calgary Flames, a bad Calgary Flames team, deciding, you know what, I don't want to be here anymore, requesting a trade. Now, there's always three sides of the story: Toffoli's story, the Calgary Flames story, and what really happened. And what really happened was Tom Fitzgerald traded Yegor Sharangovich, plus the third rounder he received, basically a freebie, for the rights of Damon Severson to the BJs, the Columbus Blue Jackets, which, if you ever look at the lineage of where that 2023 third rounder came from, it originally came from Calgary. And went across the league and now back to Calgary. For now, as the NHL draft is tonight, just remember the Let's Go Devils podcast and Hockey on Tap will be at Pasta Grill by Enzo's in beautiful Hackettstown, New Jersey for the NHL draft. We're going to have a draft day party. And since the Devils don't have a draft pick yet, we're going to have drafts at our draft day party. And Shorts Guy's going to be there. Some fans have already told me that they're going to be there. It's going to be great. Mazel to the tough, y'all, says Dave Singer and Fitz we trust. Yes. NY Davey said it best in the YouTube Live. Toffoli is a great addition to the club. Power play, penalty killing, scoring, right-handed shot, cup experience. Yes, won a cup with the LA Kings in 2014 when they beat the New York Rangers. Oh. It's a great trade. Half a point per game playoffs in his career. Dave Singer says Toffoli greater than Tatar. Max has arrived. But yeah, I mean, our New Jersey Devils have depth on the power play. Now, I was a little concerned about Damon Severson being on PP2, quarterbacking the power play, and then spent some time at PP1 when Dougie Hamilton got hurt. Always did well. But with Luke Hughes, have no fear. Luke Hughes is here. And what's going to be power play one? Hughes, Bratt, Meyer. Where does Toffoli fit? But he has to be on PP1. So Meyer, Hughes, take out Bratt, put Toffoli in. Nico Hischier, Dougie Hamilton. Hello, Matt Junio on the Facebook Live. it should be interesting what they're going to do on the power play because it is loaded. Tom Fitzgerald is not rebuilding right now. He is reloading, seeing what happened in the playoffs, needing that depth, needing power play goals, needing a playoff player, a veteran, 31 years old, going into his last year of his contract, Tyler Toffoli. Now, when Tom Fitzgerald wanted a winger, kind of reminded me of that scene in Tommy Boy when Tommy want wingy. Well, Tom Fitzgerald wanted a wingy, and he got Tyler Toffoli. This legitimately puts the Devils in Stanley Cup contention. You'd have to respect on paper what the Devils have done so far. And Tom Fitzgerald is not done. What Tom Fitzgerald is doing, and I'll say this again. I've said it once, I've said it twice, I've said it many times. And listen up. I'll say it again, and I'll beat a dead horse because that's what Tom Fitzgerald's doing. Not so much beating a dead horse, but Tom Fitzgerald is building a dynasty. And when you build a dynasty, you reload. Because the core pillars are in place and they are less than 25 years old on this team. You sign Timo Meier to a long-term deal, suddenly it's a potential dynasty. Folks, Zach says, holy Toffoli. Holy Toffoli is right. I almost want to say holy Grant Marshall, but you know what? We can't say that on air. But the Devils, I'll tell you what, all you professional hockey writers and those national broadcasters, yeah, we're taking receipts. Devils fans, we're recording all this, how you snub Jack Hughes, you snub Nico Hischier, you snub Lindy Ruff. And that's no coincidence. A little bit, and it's partially, I would say it's partially Lou Lamoriello's fault back in the day, but members of the media hates New Jersey. Okay? They generally hate the state of New Jersey. They actually generally hate the New Jersey Devils. Believe me, I spent 10 years in the major media. I've been in the locker room. I've been in the press box. I've been there. Behind the scenes, I'm going to tell you something. They're not too keen on New Jersey. They'd rather be in Florida. They'd rather be, New York, Chicago, all the other LA, all the other cities. But that's okay. We didn't like you either. But they're going to love Jack Hughes. This is not Lou Lamoriello's team where they call them boring. Scott Stevens boring. The same old Devils. The trap, the clutch and grab, the slow, unenthused brand of hockey. But it's what Corbin says, let the haters hate. New Jersey versus the world. But the Devils and Tom Fitzgerald is going to fleece an NHL city of one of their great players when they come to you. Or when you come begging to Tom Fitzgerald, give me one of your prospects or give me one of your young talent. I know that you've got a glut of great players. And Tom Fitzgerald says, all right, putting down the beer. I'm going to make a deal. And so far, whatever Tom Fitzgerald has touched has turned into gold. There's really not much you can really criticize a Tom Fitzgerald. And Dave Singer said, when your eighth best player is Dawson Mercer, you have an absolute wagon of a team. Dawson Mercer is his last year of his entry-level contract. Take advantage of it. The Luke Hughes ELCs. The Simon Nemitz ELCs. NY Davey asks a great question. Where does Alexander Holtz fit in? On the third line at best? Holy Toffoli, does this change everything. Changes everything. The Devils are good. Scary good. This is no joke, people. This is the 10 years of suffering, of losing, of butt puck, of injuries, of stupidity. And now, the Devils are going to be on top of the league. And you're seeing a trend right now that the Devils and Tom Fitzgerald and his staff are a bunch of trailblazers. They're doing things that other teams didn't even think of doing. And you know it's a copycat league. You know it's a copycat league. And in all fairness, the Devils kind of copied the Pittsburgh Penguins model. And what was that? How did the Pittsburgh Penguins become a great team for the last 15 years with Sidney Crosby and Evgeny Malkin? How did they obtain these players? Well, they tanked it. They tanked it. Trading Jaromir Jagr, needing a new arena, which they eventually used. They figured a way how grandma's slot machine arm, basically through the casinos in Pennsylvania, they were able to fund their new arena right now. And they put together a great young team led by Craig Patrick, Ray Shero. Tom Fitzgerald was being mentored, was learning what it's like to be an assistant GM. Ray Shero gets hired by the New Jersey Devils in 2015, and they tanked it. It was awful. The only mistake Ray Shero made was that fool's gold of a Taylor Hall MVP season. The Devils were not that far along that we thought. And I think Ray Shero, unfortunately, overestimated how good the Devils were and how good Taylor Hall would be sustained over time. That, remember, the Devils almost threw a big contract, but Taylor Hall wasn't having any of it. Now, I believe no numbers were really discussed, if I remember correctly, in the beginning. But it dragged on, and the Devils sucked and sucked and sucked even more after getting PK Subban. And then the Devils and Ray Shero parted ways, and in comes Tom Fitzgerald, shell-shocked that Ray Shero's gone, and he's in the spotlight. And ever since then, the Devils have been incrementally improving. But this past season, they started to exponentially improve. Over 50-point improvement. The darling of the league. Beating teams practically annexing Canada, the country of Canada, just going into town and just beating them up and then taking the win and the 2 points with them. Tom Fitzgerald might ultimately, and I would never thought in my lifetime I would say this, Tom Fitzgerald, if he's able to pull off a dynasty, he may be one day, 20 years down the road, the greatest Devils GM ever. And I'm not saying that loosely, but he's got a few cups to win. He's got to figure this out. Jack Hughes and Nico Hischier, their legacies with the New Jersey Devils. Luke Hughes, his legacy with the New Jersey Devils. He is building a dynasty, folks, and he's not done yet, nowhere near done. He's going to keep working the phones, ripping off other teams. Now, what I mean by ripping off other teams, both on paper and what's best for the New Jersey Devils. The Vitek and Schmidt are good enough in goal. Do not spend one dime here. You know, I still think there is a path to get Hellebuck, but Hellebuck has to come halfway, literally. But right now, the Devils don't need Hellebuck. I've said that many times. But Hellebuck could be the last link that gets him over the top, though. And that's a price to pay when you go for the Stanley Cup. So it's a decision that Tom Fitzgerald is going to have to make, because you're going to have to trade salary for that 1 year. Hellebuck's 1 year contract. You're going to have the Winnipeg Jets retain some of that salary if you're going to fit him in the salary cap structure of this season, which he has a 1 year left before it becomes a UFA. You've got to trade Vitek Vanacek to help bring Hellebuck to New Jersey. But you're going to also have to trade some assets as well. Probably young prospects that are in Utica or in college, like Ethan Edwards, Seamus Casey. I think Seamus Casey, you do not trade at all costs. You don't want to trade a Jersey kid that can play defense, that can provide tremendous amount of young depth when he comes up to the NHL. I mean, this is what's so great about the draft tonight. We're going to be at Enzo's at 1916 Route 57, beautiful Hackettstown, New Jersey, in the heart of Warren County tonight for our NHL draft party. But there is a path, but not likely, but there's still a path, I think. It depends how desperate Winnipeg is at getting rid of Hellebuck. Now, you could always get Hellebuck mid-season if there is a need and go with Schmidt and Vanacek. But to me, I think this is Schmidt's team. I think Schmidt should take 65% of the starts. I think Vanacek should take 35% or 30%. And as long as the Devils are winning, and they're winning royally, I think, meow, meow, you could save a lot of cap room and not put yourself in cap hell for Hellebuck. But again, the Devils' power play will have that lethal depth. Adding Tyler Toffoli does that. It is going to come in waves. How do you stop PP1 and PP2? And Travis Green is going to have a lot of weapons to work with as the new coach. As the new coach of the power play. NY Davey says, Quinn Hughes can be here. Vancouver may want to shed salary, rebuild completely. Losing him can lose without him. I'll tell you what, I'd rather have Quinn Hughes than Connor Hellebuck. And not because of the three brothers, although it's great marketing-wise for the league and for the New Jersey Devils and for history's sake, but Quinn Hughes is an above-average defenseman. And having him come on to the New Jersey Devils, I mean, you always want depth on defense because injuries happen. And you want to have your three pairings fresh for the playoffs because the regular season is a long 82-game season. It's a long duration to endure. The playoffs, playing one game is like equals to 4 or 5, depending upon what series. If it's the New York Rangers, it's like equal to 7, one playoff game. The intensity, eating up the ice time. And Lindy has experimented with 7D guys. 7D guys. And I'm all for it. Matter of fact, I'd be all for 8 pairings. I know people are going to kill me for it. But the top 3, the top 9 forwards of the New Jersey Devils is just incredible. Incredible right now. Need a little beef. I'll say need a little beef. Mark Schwab, how are you? How are you? Mark Schwab from Switzerland. Harris, how do you feel about Travis Green? I really don't know anything about him. Look, he is a hockey lifer, and that's what you want on your coaching staff. Played in the National Hockey League for many years, always a top player. And what I mean by top player is a top 6 player. I think Travis Green is a great addition. And it's time to kind of change up the mojo a little bit. It's not easy replacing Andrew Burnett, but Travis Green, he's a hockey lifer. So is Lindy Ruff. That's what you want on this staff. Those have been in the trenches, that have played the game at the NHL level. And I'll tell you, Travis Green was a good player. If you look back what he has done in his career as a player, as a coach, we shall see. We shall see, folks. We shall see. Corbin says, let's get another Ranger coach fired next season. Yes. Peter Laviolette, the guy that looks like Hockley in the movie Titanic, in my opinion. Anyway. All right. So the morning woo continues. But tonight, come by Pasta Grill by Enzo's on Route 57, 1916 Route 57, beautiful Hackettstown, New Jersey, Mansfield section. Is it Beattytown? I don't know. George Washington. Yes, the founder of the Continental Congress. I don't know. United States, the first president of the United States, George Washington, stayed at Enzo's. Come by. It's a great place. And Max says his girlfriend is Peter Laviolette's cousin. Interesting. We'll have to talk about that off air. Hello, Chris. Interesting. Well, can your girlfriend pretend to be a New York Rangers fan, Max, and then ask Peter Laviolette to get us 50 tickets behind the Rangers bench at Madison Square Garden for Devils Rangers, and then we all come in and then, cause a havoc. Speaking of havoc, I've been talking about with the boys, and that weekend, March 16th, 17th, where the Devils are in Vegas, I think on the Sunday, on the Saturday, they're at the Mullet in Arizona. It's going to be a road trip, folks. It's going to be an epic road trip. We're going to have to get a private jet. But I'm a little leery about private jets. I mean, there was that private jet that, flew from Virginia, and then something happened with the cabin pressure and went down. And, yeah, I don't know. We'll have to figure that one out. But we got to go. We got to book. You know what we should do? We got to book an entire flight. We should get an airline to sponsor this. Book an entire flight from New Jersey. And if you're, like Scotty, located in California, you're going to have to figure a way. But we got to book a plane from New Jersey to Arizona, take over the mullet, then get back on the plane and go to Vegas, take over Vegas, and show the Golden Knights who will be the new Stanley Cup champions. 2025, here we come. Max says Newark is a United hub, right? Yes. It used to be Continental before United took it over. Continental Airlines was the best airline. Like, everything was done right. Oh, we're late. Oh, here's a free ticket for next time. Like, Continental Airlines was great. Then once United took over, it was like you could see the smile off the stewardess face, just like go from happy to sad. Matt Jr. says start small, Spirit Airlines. And one of my favorite airlines, believe it or not, is Frontier Airlines. Well, let me tell you something. They want to earn your business, which I like. But, we should get a plane. We should fly out. We should take over the cities. It will be like, we're just going to absolutely overwhelm the system over there. Shorts guy will make his historical jokes, telling the Vegas fans that your city is a waste of water, whatever that means. Anyway, see you at Pasta Grill by Enzo's tonight. 7 p.m. Eastern start. Also, between 8 to 9 p.m. during our live podcast. We're going to break in with Nick Villano of pucksandpitchforks.com. Talk about this Toffoli trade because he was just all amped up yesterday. He wanted to get on air. I was like, sorry, Nick. I got to set up at Enzo's. Otherwise, we're not going to have a podcast. Meow, meow. And we're going to have the bolognese at Enzo's. We're going to have the wingies. Tommy want wingies. Tommy want Toffoli. Tommy want wingies. Tommy gets what he wants. Tommy Fitzgerald. We'll have some steaks. We'll have some salmon. We'll have some pasta, obviously. It's a great place. Hang out with us. Plus, a lot of drafts, obviously, on tap. And if it's an hour away, drive. Live a little bit. And we'll see you there tonight at 7 p.m. Eastern. I'll be there around 6:30. Probably all, like, anxiety when I get to an event. Nothing ever works. But anyway, hope you're enjoying the Morning Woo on the Woo Report. Also, Mark says, I saw a Rangers fan this morning. T-shirt with Rangers logo. Would love to have the Rangers Suck shirts from Shorts Guy. We'll have to figure that out, Mark. There's a lot of tariffs and trade laws and all that kind of jazz. We're going to have to figure that out. Or you're going to have to come to the States to grab it. Max says, come on, Fitzy. Do another fleece. We want fleece. We want fleece. I'll tell you what. If he signs Timo Meier for 8.5 or less, I will personally manufacture Tom fleeces. Fleece blanket. Fleece jacket. Fleece whatever, and send it to Tommy Fitzgerald. Because he's done a wonderful job with New Jersey Devils. He's building a dynasty. All right, folks, I'll see you at 7 p.m. tonight at Pasta Grill by Enzo's in Hackettstown, New Jersey for the draft party. This is the Morning Woo on the Woo Report. Till next time, let's go Devils.